In this episode, we share the secrets to building lean muscle at midlife and, at the same time, losing body fat. People can get very confused about how to do both at the same time.
And there is an art to it, but we break it down here in the simplest terms so you can start feeling and looking better than ever before.
Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Mentors with me, James.
And me, Claire.
A very sick note, Claire. Oh dear.
Yeah, I haven't been very well for the whole week, have I?
You have not.
No.
Yes.
No, and still mending. So much so that I actually opted out of doing a live inside our Facebook group earlier on this morning and left James to it. And that's just it's just unheard of.
Some might say it went better as a result.
Oh, you're so mean.
Oh, I don't mean
it's
it.
Really
of
mean.
course you were missed.
Oh, yeah, no, it's some little bugger of a virus has got me, and I don't think I've actually been this sick for actually like about a year and a half. I haven't been when the old COVID got me, and this isn't COVID, by the way, because I have tested. But yeah, I don't know. The most annoying part of it is I can't taste anything, and I love my food. Honestly, that is the most frustrating bit. I can't taste my food. I can't smell, but that's okay, because James smells, and I can't smell how bad he is. And yeah, I can't hear very well, which is fine, because I'm just like James.
A blessing. if only your mouth had stopped. We're on winner.
Yeah. Well, it kind of is, because every time I try and talk, I'm kind of coughing. Oh. He's not being very nice to me, listeners. He has been very, very sweet, and had to put up with me being a real grumpy pants.
Not a great patient, are you?
I'm a terrible patient. Because I've had to cancel all of my coaching calls, my one-to-one coaching calls this week, which I hate to do because I love them. And I just hate letting people down. And I haven't got on with the things that I want to get on with this week in the business. Oh. And my workouts have been absolutely ridiculous, the ones I have been doing. And I know everyone's out there going, what are you doing workouts for? Yeah, it's not the most sensible thing, but we'll leave it at that. But yes, my workouts haven't been great either, so I've been a real grumpy pants.
Well, it is, and that leads us nicely to the topic for today, which is how and why you need to build a lean muscle, and then in brackets, how to lose fat at the same time, because we get asked this so much. That's what we're going to cover, the how and why you need to build lean muscle at midlife, and how you can do it to lose fat at the same time. So we're going to dive into that this morning.
Yeah, this is actually from a TikTok video that I did. If you don't follow TikTok, us on TikTok, well, it's me, because I'm
not allowed on the channel.
No, but it actually was me that took the mantle of TikTok, and it's just kind of evolved from there. But we're at the Midlife Mentors on TikTok. So I did this this video on TikTok about the things that I did to build lean muscle actually in my 40s. And have helped me personally look better and feel better than I ever have. So, we're going to give those tips around what to do to build lean muscle so that we can look different, feel strong, and all the amazing health benefits that go with building muscles as well. But that was the inspiration of doing this podcast. And then James was like, but people often say that they find it difficult to drop weight and build muscle. And I was like, yeah, they do. They say that a lot. So that's why we're going to cover that. But what else have we been up to, Mr. D?
We won another award, didn't we?
Oh, my goodness.
We won another award. So
we did.
The Prestige Awards have awarded us Online Coaching Services of the Year 2023-24 for the London and South East, which is amazing. So they basically said there was loads of competition in this space, but we really stood out for the kind of commitment we have to our clients, the community we've built, the engagement we've built, and the obvious fun that we have doing it, and all the obvious results we get for our clients. So really, really lovely to be recognised. Thank you, Prestige Awards. We're award-winning coaches yet again.
Yeah, how many is that in the last 3 years? It's about 12?
Yeah, I
something
think
like that.
12 awards, something like
Something like that.
So
maybe
really,
13,
really pleased for
Lucky
that.
13. Yeah, it's really, really great. And other than that, I've just been...
We haven't been doing a lot because it's been curtailed by your sickness.
We had Valentine's Day.
We did. We went out for a little Valentine's lunch, didn't we? Which was lovely because we never go out for lunch.
But we've just got big plans on the horizon with all of the stuff that we're doing. And it was just a bit frustrating that it's been put on a bit of a back burner. But never mind.
Sometimes, this is a lesson for you. Sometimes life just throws you things and all you can do is adapt, which is what we're doing. Come back stronger.
Yes.
Right, so let's get into this. And this is so common. So many of you listeners, hopefully, have joined our wonderful Midlife Mentors community, which is our free community on Facebook. If you haven't, then do join because it's a great community. We go live in there every weekend, giving little mini teach masterclasses,
like you just did on your own,
like I just did this morning.
Yeah.
So it's a great place to hang out. You find like-minded people all on a similar journey. And when you sign up, there's like the standard like little questions. One is like, what are you looking to do? And what comes up over and over and again is like, I want to lose weight and build muscle.
But
let's clear that up because that's not actually what you mean. And I'll explain why that is the case. Muscle is denser than fat. So when we add muscle, we're actually going to put weight on. I'm just talking about weight here. What we actually mean is probably that we want to add muscle but lose body fat.
Body fat.
Now, that is obviously the dream goal for everyone, right? Like, how do I add muscle and lose fat at the same time? It's tricky, but it is definitely possible.
Yeah, it absolutely is possible, and I think that's why we always bang on to our clients that join the Midlife Method. That yes, of course they can measure their weight, but actually what we want to do is not obsessively at all, but actually track their body fat percentage, and like that over time is we want that to go down, and actually their lean muscle, because the scales that we recommend, which are called Tanitas, by the way. They're really inexpensive, and actually we found them to be the best. They actually measure muscle and body fat and various other things like metabolic age and all that sort of stuff. So they're really, really helpful. But again, we do say to our clients, don't get obsessive about that, but don't actually even bother too much with the weight. You want to look at body fat and your muscle.
And here's the thing, like, if you say you add muscle and lose fat, but your body weight stays the same, you're actually going to look a lot better because the muscle is denser than fat, so you'll actually look a lot smaller and more compact, as well as looking more sculpted, all the rest of it, plus all the benefits of adding muscle, which you're going to have. But firstly, I'm going to leave you a little conundrum. It's a commonly accepted fact that to lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit, and to build muscle, you need to be in a calorie surplus.
That's not true.
So how are we going to get around that? Well, we're going to tell you in a minute. But first, let's tell you why you need to be building muscle at midlife.
You know what? James has just looked at me right now, but my head's gone so foggy. I keep going off, I keep staring off into the distance. I know you are all going to forgive me for that. I'm going to let James answer that.
Well,
even though you just looked at me as if because this is where I
That's
normally...
one of your things where you get really excited about normally.
I do.
Bless her, I can tell how ill she is.
I do. Well, yeah, because I'm such a chatterbox normally.
I know.
No, I will say this though. It is really important that we build lean muscle at midlife, because as we're aging, our muscle mass is decreasing, and muscle is metabolically active. Which means that even at rest, when we've got more muscle, we're burning more calories, and that's really, really important. It's also really important for our bone density. So build it when we weight train, which is kind of what we're talking about here. When we weight train, we're actually building stronger bones, which is really important because 1 in 5 women over 50 are going to experience osteoporosis. But also for our posture, for negating any injury that we are going to get. So actually feel strong, to feel really powerful. And I always talk about the mental benefits of building muscle and actually doing some weight training, is because it really, really does empower us in a way that, it never fails to amaze me how good we feel in our own skin when we're not just doing cardio, but when we're doing resistance training as well. But it's really, really important that we build lean muscle or maintain muscle at midlife, because it's decreasing at midlife, and we want to make sure that we are boosting that decreasing metabolic rate, so we can give it a bump and a boost.
Yeah. That is in a nutshell. We want to stay lean and
See,
strong into old age. Well done.
I did it.
So now let's talk about the how. How would you go about building more lean muscle? Well, obviously you need to resistance train. Now that can be using your body weight or simple equipment. Like we'll start people off with water bottles sometimes. Yeah. But then moving up to things like, dumbbells, kettlebells, resistance bands, all of which are really inexpensive. Or, of course, you can go to a gym and start lifting weights. As a general rule of thumb, right, you want to be hitting each muscle group 2 times a week with adequate recovery. And this is where it starts to get a little bit more complex, right? So this can depend on your lifestyle and your time. You might want to do a full body workout, i.e. hit every muscle group in one workout, and then do another one later in the week. Because you do need to leave at least 48 hours. I'd say probably more like 3 days between those. But if time's short, you might want to start splitting it in different ways. You could do stuff, you do legs and a bit of back, and then do chest and shoulders, and then you'd have 4 workouts or even 5 workouts, but they'd be a lot shorter. So that's the first thing. Work out what fits your lifestyle. Just remember, each muscle group twice a week with adequate recovery.
And actually, this was part of my TikTok video, was the things that I started doing differently in my 40s that have made me look better now. And one of the things is actually working in line with my midlife body and my midlife hormones. So this is what we're going to give you the tips at the end, but this is really, really important that, we see this a lot. We see our clients doing what they did in their 20s, 30s, 40s even, and our body is vastly, vastly different to what it was when we were that age. We have a very different makeup now. Our hormones are very, very different. So what we need to do, and we cannot stress how important this is, you have to train in a certain way and make sure that it is in line with those hormones for you to get the best results.
Exactly that. And people get really hung up on things like, sets and reps and like how many sets and reps. And listen, there is some science to it, but there's also a huge body of research out there that's shown that like it doesn't really matter on the sets and reps as long as you're taking the muscles to overload and you're progressing the weight as time goes by. So, it might be you want to do 2 sets of 20 reps. It might be you want to do 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps, 5 sets of 5 reps. What I would say is it's really good to kind of mix those rep ranges up, and also your body gets very used to the program you give it. So try and adapt your program, change your program every 8 weeks or so.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. I think one of the mistakes that people make is doing the same thing over and over and over again as well, and their body just adapts, you'll plateau, and then you won't get the results that you want. So again, that is why it's helpful to have a professional. Make sure, look over what you're doing, whether that's going into your local gym and asking a PT to do it, or whether it's an online coach or whatever, just making sure that you are constantly progressing yourself as well, because that's what we make sure that we do with our clients.
So that's the exercise component of adding muscle, obviously, like doing the training. But how about the nutrition side, and particularly this conundrum of losing fat while building muscle? Well, here's what I want to say on that. The energy equation has 2 sides to it. So when we're adding more muscle, when we add muscle to our frame, we're obviously increasing our metabolic rate because that muscle is metabolically active. So we're burning more calories even at rest. Also, because we're now exercising more, like we're moving more and burning more calories anyway. So it's like a double hit. So our calorie deficit is largely coming from that extra movement we're doing rather than necessarily restricting our diet. I hope that makes sense to people. Like, you don't have to necessarily take food out of the diet. You can also do more movement to increase the burn on the other side. In fact, you probably want to do a little bit of both.
Absolutely, you want to do a bit of both.
Now, if we're doing that, obviously, we want to get the nutrition dialed in. So what we want to do is increase our protein. Like, our muscles need carbohydrates and protein to build, but protein is the essential building block. So what's that mean? It means getting more protein into our diet. It means we want to actually probably decrease our carbs to around 40% of our total diet, but make sure they're coming from good sources. We want to get rid of processed carbs. We want to get rid of sugars. And then, ensure that energy is channeled to building muscles rather than being in excess. When we have high sugar foods, that's more likely to be stored as fat. So we want to take those low GI carbs and load those carbs early in the day. So if you do that alone, you'll start to feel and see a difference. You'll start to add muscle and your body fat will start to go down. What you can also do is add in fasted HIIT sessions in the morning to help the body burn fat. And because these sessions are short, right, there is a science as well that says if we do long cardio and we're trying to build muscle, we'll carry on breaking down the muscle, so it'll be harder for us to add that muscle to our frame. This is something I've experienced myself personally. But keeping these sessions short, like 15 to 20 minutes, only 2 or 3 times a week on the days that you are not resistance training, then you will help to manage your body fat down as well.
And again, this is really individual as well, and I think that's why, you know, it's good to play around with this a little bit. But again, from my TikTok video, one of the things I said was that it was not only that I was doing the right training with regards to weight training, but I was actually I stopped doing so much cardio. I really found, and James has found this, and it's so interesting how we've been our own guinea pigs throughout this whole journey. But we were both doing way too much cardio in order to add enough lean muscle, right? And this is individualized. We're just talking about ourselves here, but there is a science around it that when you do too much cardio, you put your body under too much stress, or your central nervous system under too much stress. That raises cortisol, and actually can start breaking down the muscle that you're trying to build. Let alone actually, you know, high levels of cortisol in our body make us hold on to belly fat. It was a real interesting thing for me to trust the process of actually bringing my cardio down and making them a bit shorter, as well as doing my weight training. This whole combination was really, really powerful in helping me, you know, build the muscle that I now have.
The other thing I'd say on this is like, be realistic about your results. A lot of people are like, all right, I started lifting, I've changed my diet, I'm 2 days in. Listen, we've all got different rates of adaptation. Personally, for Claire and I, we're quite synced up. It takes around 14 days before we'll see the results. So, you know, what that means is 3-4 days of splurge eating. You kind of think, oh, we got away with that. But 14 days later, boom, you haven't got away with it. On the flip side, you know, starting to clean up the diet, training harder, it's not until, you know, 14 days or a bit longer sometimes that we see the results of that. Now, some people I know see the results in as little as 7 days. Other people might say as little as 21, but it's up to you to monitor, right? So give it 14 to 21 days and think, right, yeah, am I putting muscle on? Is my fat going down? If you are, you will put muscle on. If your fat's not going down, maybe just like decrease your calories by 10% and then monitor again and just keep that feedback loop going.
That being said, James has just touched on a really important point there. You know, we do expect results, we all do. We expect results so fast because we are in a society that tells us that we can have the quick fixes, and it's all a lie. It is all an absolute lie. No one gets these results that last quickly, right? So, you know, yes, James says we get those results in 14 days and we can start seeing changes in 14 days. But you've got to think, we're already pretty healthy, right? Our metabolic rate is already pretty high. That's 14 days for us. But if you've got a lot of body fat to lose, if you've never done very much, if you haven't cleaned up your diet and you've been reliant on fad diets and crash dieting for so long, it could possibly take your body 5 to 6 weeks for you to start seeing anything. But we all, you know, so many of us quit too soon. So many people quit too soon. It's like that little picture of a man chipping. I don't know whether you've ever seen this. I love this. Chipping away underneath in the mine, chipping away. And the gold is like literally a centimetre away from where he's about to chip. But there's one of them that carries on chipping. It's 2 of them. And one's turned back just before he hits gold. It's a cumulative effect, right? So it builds over time. And then it'll be like whoosh. You know, it could be on week 6, 7 that you'll just go, oh my goodness, like firing on those results. But what I would say is don't quit too soon. Don't believe the hype. There is no quick fixes in reality.
No. So let's give you those tips again. So you want to resistance train each muscle group twice a week, and you're looking for progression and muscular overload and get adequate recovery. This is training in line with your midlife body or midlife hormones.
Yeah, so making sure that you're training in the correct way for your midlife body, because you cannot get away with keep doing what you used to do.
Yeah. If you're looking to bring those fat levels down, add in 2 to 3 fasted hits on different days from your resistance.
But don't do too much
cardio overall, because you want to avoid that stress response. And then increase your protein intake and decrease your carbohydrate intake, and front load those carbs in the day.
That's it.
Those are our tips. So I hope that helps. That is how you build muscle and lose fat. There is essentially, that will give you the blueprint of what you can do. There is more to it than that. This is exactly what we do on our midlife method, our 8-week program that gets amazing physical and psychological results for our clients. So if you're at all interested in that, then drop us an email, team@themidlifementors.com, or use the book a call link on the website to book a call and discuss whether it could be for you or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I've enjoyed doing this.
Oh, good.
It's perked me up a little bit. You see, you always help me, all of you lot out there. Like, knowing that it's that whole purpose and a whole passion thing, isn't it? It's about making sure that we're focusing on the good rather than the bad. So I'm focusing on the positive here. I've just managed to do a podcast without coughing all the way through.
Well done.
And sharing a little bit of love and snot. Oh no, I better not laugh.
Don't laugh. You'll start yourself off.
I'll start myself off. All right, well, we're sending you so much love, and do let us know if there's any topics you want us to cover, anything you're unsure of. Please let us know at that same email address, team@themidlifementors.com, and we are sending you lots and lots of love.
One last favour to ask, actually. Do like and share and review the podcast if you've enjoyed listening to this. If you got something from it, leave us a nice review. Tell your friends. Share it far and wide.
Really
it
matter.
all helps.
It really, really does matter, and we would be really, really grateful. Yeah, well done.
Right.
Okay. Lots of love.
Lots of love. Bye.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
We'd love to hear from you, so drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under the Midlife Mentors.
Yeah.